Okay, guys. Right, let's talk about risk. Because not every moment of truth is created equal, are they? Certain moments of truth have a higher degree of risk associated with them than others. But how would we assess that risk so we make sure that in terms of our management control system we're monitoring the right things? So if we think about calculating the risk, we can do it against two vectors. The first vector is what is the impact on the customer if we screw up at this moment of truth? And the second would be what is the impact on the company? So the easy one with the customer, as it says on our screen up there, if this part of the process broke or didn't perform as intended, how would you feel as the customer? And against the customer, for instance, we might feel a little bit sort of peed off. I'd be annoyed. I'm not very happy with that. However, I'm not going to end the relationship with the customer. That would be low. Medium might be, look, you're really winding me up now. If if I find anything else wrong, I'm going to take my business somewhere else. I've got a choice. Bless you. Okay. And then high would be, suggest immediate termination of the relationship. So from a customer's point of view, if we messed up at a moment of truth, would it be low, medium, or high? Okay. The second perspective, the second sort of vector, is the impact on the company. So I've used the example that we used earlier on in the week, the insurance company. And in this instance, they said, look, we can categorise these things in terms of the severity of the impact. So if, for instance, as a company, we messed up at a moment of truth and it increased our costs, reduced our revenues, compromised our service, and so on like that, then there's levels of severity. And that was the actual ranking that you could see the costs, revenue, service, sales, profit, compliance, regulation, and quality. That was the order that they assessed these moments of truth against. Now, based on that order, you might sort of say, okay, if it's a relatively low impact, low. If it's medium, it's going to cost us something, we'll lose revenue, medium. And if it's high, it's going to cost us a lot, we're going to prejudice service, and we're going to screw up as far as revenue is concerned, then it will be in the high category. Make sense?
So do you rate each moment of truth, and therefore we're rating it per individual transaction as opposed to a collective?
Each moment of truth. At this moment of truth, if we messed up, what's the impact? Now there's some will have a more general impact. I'll do the example in a moment. I'm just going to use these guys. Now, you don't just need to do this for moments of truth. You can do it for handovers and business rules as well. You can do this risk, what we call risk impact matrix, and actually sort of progress that in popularity. So let's do one. So I picked the moments of truth of these guys over here. And there's 5 of them. The first moment of truth was requisition. So if we messed up at requisition, what's the impact on the customer? I would say it's pretty high, isn't it? Because they can't request, they can't requisite, if that's such a word. There's such a word as requisite. I'm going to requisite. So I would say from a customer point of view, that's pretty high. From an organisational point of view, that seems quite significant as well, because they won't be able to do business with us, will they? So I would say that's probably high. The next one is confirmation of the order. So from a customer point of view, low, medium or high?
Medium.
Medium? Yeah. From a company point of view, low, medium or high?
Low.
So we'll probably have it over there then. So low for the company, medium for the customer. Alright. Auto, pick and pack. That's the third moment of truth. So that's fairly high for the customer.
High for the customer.
Yeah? What about the company? Medium?
Medium.
Yeah, medium-ish. Right. Okay, so you get the idea, and then the last 2, auto payment. Low, medium or high for a customer?
High.
Right. And against the company?
High.
Yeah, we don't get paid, we're dead in the water. And then delivery. Definitely high for a customer. High for the company?
It's high.
High. That's reputation.
Right, so what you do is you're going to get a distribution. Now, of course, in the future state, you've got 5 moments of truth. So how do we quantify that? Well, we use this scale on the screen, where this particular area here represents a risk score of 100. Okay. This area is 75, this area is 75. These areas 50, 50, 50, 25, 25, and 10. So what I can see from this process is we've got a risk profile. Agreed? And for this process it's 375, 400 divided by 5, 80. Now the worst risk you can carry is 100. Agreed? But optimally, for any process that deserves to exist, the moments of truth, we want the risk to get down towards 10. So the question I ask myself is, for a moment of truth that's carrying this risk of 100, number one will always be a high. Can't be anything else because the process can't exist without it, alright? But for these other two, auto payment and delivery, what are we going to do ongoing to reduce that risk? How are we going to migrate them from 100 to 75 to 50 and down to 10? What actions have we got in place downstream to actually progressively improve these things? Alright. Now when we're doing risk impact measures, of course you're doing somebody else's process here, and you've got process performance landscape. You can imagine there can be quite a bit of discussion about this, about what's important to us and what isn't. Now, having got that degree of importance, which moments of truth are we going to spend more time managing than not? High. So that's where we're going to be focused, because we've always got scarce resource. We never have enough time to do the things we want to get on with and do. By focusing on these things, right, doesn't mean we won't focus on these, it just means that these will get more important than the rest. Agreed? So you now have another way of slicing and dicing your customer experience in terms of the risk element both to the customer and the risk to the company itself. And accordingly, we can put those things under control. We can manage them. It's not just left to a whim and a fancy. No, we hope we don't screw up. So this is all where we keep reiterating, we've got to get scientific about the customer experience. And it's not difficult to do. We don't have to just have to put up with that soft and fluffy nonsense of, high-level customer journey mapping. It's all about the customer experience map. It is everything. It's not just a singular view. Make sense? Good. So I'm not going to ask you to do this. Does everybody get the principle? No, if you get the principle, we're home and dry. Because these numbers then feed into our next stage, which is when we're going to talk about dashboards. Right. So I recorded that risk one for you because I knew we weren't going to do the exercise. I thought I'll record it.